Welcome to episode 51 of Depths of Gaming. I am Necroscourge, your host with this guy.
I'm Voice. I'm your Russian accent for today. How can I help you?
Yes. Alright, awkward intro out of the way. We're here to make fun of various people and talk about video games and games in general. Lots of games. It is our passion in life.
It's almost as if we're going to the depths of gaming.
The very depths. Speaking of the very depths, Fat Shark is enjoying their Scrooge McDuck moment as Vermintide 2 has made far more money in its first 2 weeks than the original ever did.
Yeah, it turns out that the sequel actually made more money than the original, which is usually the opposite what happens. At least when the AAA developer is taking the lead on the things. So
yeah. PC Gamer writes that in the 2 weeks that Vermintide 2 has existed, it's made more money than Vermintide, period.
It's almost as if they improved upon the formula and people are actually liking it.
Well, that's great because I was always unsure if people... Because the thing with Left 4 Dead is I always wondered how much of it was the game and how much of it was the stupid story that they made up for it. And this puts my mind at ease. People just like that kind of gameplay.
Yeah, it turns out people like to have fun when playing video games. Which is a crazy concept these days. Because publishers think that what really drives players and gamers and people to their games is the fact that they can spend money on them.
Yeah.
Which is actually not true, surprisingly enough.
So this is good because we're probably going to see more action games coming out as a response, because this is what always happens whenever a game starts making a ton of money is the AAA guys look over and go, oh, so that's what we have to copy.
Time to jump on the bandwagon, right? Oh, look, another bandwagon. Let's jump on that.
Yeah, so
That's
expect a lot of Left 4 Dead clones coming out this year. Expect many, many, many of them.
And I'm sure that EA, Activision, and so on, they will put all kinds of new ways to monetize the shit out of it after you actually bought the game.
Indeed, you have to buy Skaven teeth in order to play as the high-tier Skaven.
Oh god, no. The World of Tanks model.
Oh no, that's even worse than the World of Tanks model. That's the EA model!
But at least we have a good game, and that's basically what I want. I want more video games that are fun, that respect you, that respect your wallet, and respect you basically as a person.
Speaking of games that respect you as a person, The Council debuted its first episode.
Oh, the Telltale game.
No, not a Telltale game.
No?
No, this actually has mechanics, and it's fun to play.
Okay.
No, I fucking mean it. This game actually is a game. I always hated Telltale games because it's like watching a movie that you're kind of interested in, and you are told that you can like do stuff and do whatever you want, but it's really just a red, blue, and green ending.
Oh right, the developer is Big Bad Wolf.
Indeed, which, by the way, confused the shit out of me because I'm pretty sure that's also a Telltale game.
Yeah, I believe that you played the.
You play as the
main-
big bad wolf.
Yeah, the main character is called the Bixby.
Yeah.
Bixby Wolf. Yeah.
So, in the council, you are a member of a French secret society known as the Golden Order, and your mother has gone missing on an island that you have been invited to.
Yeah, always go to islands that your mother has disappeared on.
Absolutely, nothing bad will come of this. So, your character, Louis de Richet, must learn who to trust, who not to trust, and how to find his mother.
Ahaha!
I've played through the first episode, but I'm gonna keep this very spoiler free because I invite you to go buy it. Except for Jahith, who hates episodic games.
Well, I don't hate it. I
Well,
just
he hates
want
them
to-
until they're complete.
Yes.
At which point he'll be like, "Is it on sale? Yes. There we go."
And it costs $30 too, at least for me.
No, that's
Ju-
for me
ju-
too. Yeah.
Oh no, that's for the complete season.
Yeah, that's a season.
Ah. So how long is the season? How long is the single episode? 4 hours?
If you're looking for every single collectible, I've been told 4 hours, but I got through it in 2.5. There are 5 episodes, and they're supposed to come out every 2 months, so it will be done by the end of the year, supposedly.
And do we know how many seasons there will be?
Well, we're not going to know if it gets a second season until it's like halfway done. That's how renewals
damn
work,
it.
buddy. What you think? Well, really shitty companies like Fox will be like, "Oh well, people really like the Kardashians. 80th season."
Well, didn't like the whole Big Brother shows came about because Hollywood writers went on strike, and people didn't really know what to put on TV, so they just said point camera at people and we figure it out from there.
Yeah, basically there was a writer's strike, and they decided we still need to put something new on, so they turned to reality television very hard. If you ever wondered where all those reality TV shows came from, that's where they came from. Writer strikes. So, I'm not gonna lie, some of the voice acting in the game is hit or miss. The main character and his mother, I think, are okay. But other characters, I think, do very well. Like the weird-looking dude I have on the image here. If you look at the Steam entry, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. The aristocratic dude. His voice actor is phenomenal.
Well, the evil guy has to be played by a good voice actor.
Here's
Otherwise,
the thing. He's not the bad guy.
He looks like it.
He certainly does, but he's a British aristocrat. He's very polite.
Oh, it's because he's British. That's the reason why you trust him so much.
Absolutely. The British have never done anything bad to Americans, ever.
Well, technically they didn't. It's you people who broke the contract and wanted what was it?
Hey, they were putting a 5-cent tax on our tea, okay? That is
there we go.
cause for
Taxation.
revolution.
Taxation without representation. Yeah, there we go.
That's our story, and we're sticking to it.
I believe you.
So I really like the council. It has RPG mechanics, so you level up as the episode progresses, and you put these skill points from your level ups into learning new ways to manipulate and like confuse people.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the start of the game, you choose a branch of skills that you start off with, and then you're able to learn any of the other skills as you please.
Oh, and when you reach level 3, you basically can use those skills for free.
Yes, if you level up a skill to level 3, you get to use it for free. If you level up to level 2, it's cheaper.
I see. That
So,
makes sense.
essentially, you figure out what someone is vulnerable to, and you invest in that if you plan on confusing them all the time with it.
You mentioned this before, but this game actually does atmosphere very well, doesn't it?
I feel that it really does. Every character is trying to get advantage on someone else.
And you, as a player, feel the effects of it, like you're being played by those characters.
Yes. So I'm going to keep this as spoiler-free as I possibly can. There are times where you'll turn a corner and it'll look like someone has just finished searching your room. You'll do a favor for someone by buying them time to search a room, and they'll give you their story, and the game then asks you whether or not you believe them. Which I thought was a very interesting mechanic. Are you still there, buddy?
Yep.
You were
I'm listening.
you were very quiet, and we are live. You never know if Discord has decided to rebel against us.
Listen, I'm giving you the space to flourish.
To flourish, to grow. And I really enjoy the atmosphere of this game. Because you're not just asking yourself questions about one character, you're asking yourself questions about every single character, because they use some very well-known personalities in this game. And so you have to balance what you know from the history books and what they're really up to, because something that this game is based as a central theme is history is a lie.
Everything you learn from the history lesson, throw this away.
Because they very quickly remind you that everything you've heard in the history books was put there to confuse and manipulate people. So one of the characters is a person that you feel you should believe, but I think he's up to something. I think he's up to something. Even characters that I think are harmless, like there's a fucking pope on the island.
They brought a pope to the island?
Yes. He's one of the first people you meet. You meet a pope.
Oh, interesting. But wait, where is this happening?
Actually, I don't think he's a pope. They call him His Eminence, so he's really high up there in the church.
He might be a cardinal.
Ah, he's a cardinal. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because the eminence is reserved, I think, for the cardinals.
Then he's
in
a
Christian
cardinal.
faith.
Yeah, he's a cardinal then. So, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Where is located
an island somewhere out in no man's land? I don't know. It's a rich guy's, like, think the island of Dr. No. Like, it's somewhere out.
Somewhere in Europe.
It's somewhere in Europe.
I see.
They probably told me at the beginning of the game, but I forgot. I just know that this game is fantastic, and you should and you should be interested. You should be very interested.
I am interested. I
Very
will
good.
wait until the game is complete, and then I will buy it.
Speaking of games that we're currently not buying, EA is hiring for an open world Star Wars game because they did
Wow,
so
really?
well the last time.
Because last time they tried to make a single player game, they said, "Nope, let's burn this bridge. There's no money in it."
Absolutely, because they made that they showed us this trailer for this very interesting action adventure Star Wars game, and then they canned it like 2 months later.
Yeah, because, well, fuck it. We need money, and FIFA is making money. Let's put microtransactions into every game that we make.
Yeah, because
that makes money.
everybody knows that story based shooters don't make any money. What's Metal Gear Solid again?
Or Half-Life? Yeah. And now, what I'm surprised the most about is why the fuck Disney is letting them make another game.
I think they still have their contract. That they were probably contracted for so and so number of games.
Yeah, but there was supposed to be this like gate for Disney to say, "Hey, you're soiling our brand. We're going to push you away." And find someone who will not do that, because you are actively harming our brand.
Here's what I think happened is I think that Disney went, this time we're giving you a design document and you are going to make this game. As I think Disney is just using them at this point because EA has fucked up so badly.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is that Disney is basically using them to publish it and nothing else. They're basically binding their twisting arms behind their back.
Yeah, because at this point, EA is most likely threatening them.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, this is your last chance. You have to make money with this game. You can't do what you did last time and make the entire internet boycott you.
Yeah, from what I remember, there was like a guy who made an entire analysis on the new Star Wars and everything and he came to the conclusion that the entire Star Wars franchise needs to make at least 700,000 a year to be profitable based on the investment that Disney made. But what they're actually having is like 400,000. So they are like 20,000 behind year by year.
Well, that's the movies, right?
Movies plus toys. And
oh wow!
I don't know if they also include the game in this, but I know that they're making a lot of losses there.
Well, don't forget that they also have the attractions at the Disney resorts.
Yeah, that might make some money. Yeah,
I think that's what people aren't really accounting for is that they have a whole Star Wars part of the Disneylands now.
Mm-hmm.
And those places make a lot of money.
How many Disney worlds are there in the world? Like two? Like one in France.
Well, there's
Florida. There's one in like Korea.
Yeah, because Disneyland's the original, and the rest are worlds. There's Disney World in Florida, France. I think there was one in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have I think there were 4.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say 4. I'm probably wrong.
That
Okay.
actually makes me think that Disney is now the empire upon which the sun never sets.
Oh yeah, there's the thing about Disney is that he built an empire. He is the great American businessman.
Yeah. And his dream still lives and exploits people. And Jews.
Oh yeah,
Because
he
Disney
he
was anti-Semite.
hated the Jews. he was on record as being an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I know. It turns out some of our most like renowned people. By the way, they were horrible people.
Yeah, and Disney Corporation, they want you to forget that.
Yeah.
They do not like you if you
They
remember
do.
it.
They do not like the fact that the person that gave them the keys to the world kind of hated the people that people commonly think hold the keys to the world.
And by the way, a good thing about EA that happened recently was the fact that they finally revamped the progression system in Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah, we talked about
Which
that
is-
last week. I think is they finally did that.
Yeah, they finally removed all paid progression, but they reintroduced microtransactions, but only for cosmetics
Right.
for now, right? But I think it's too little, too late.
Yeah,
Because-
they dragged their feet too long.
Yeah, what's actually quite interesting is the fact that they allowed you to keep all the things that you that you bought
Yes.
and that you gathered. So now their servers are full of players that have all of this, all of the shit. People who are still playing Battlefield 2 have everything, right? And if you want to be a new player, you go in and you get slaughtered
Yeah.
because you're starting from the bottom and you have jack shit. So even if you buy the game new, you're going to be pummeled into the ground so that you stop playing it.
Absolutely.
And they still keep bleeding players. So this game is so dead.
Yeah,
That,
Battlefront
it just
2.
was green on my face.
Battlefront 2 was just a failure, and it's just amazing. The new games versus the old games, just where their priorities clearly are. Because the first Battlefront and Battlefront 2, those games were built trying to push the envelope of where they could take a Battlefront style game or a Battlefield style game and make it very Star Warsy, and it ended up pretty interesting. And then they did what the fuck the bullshit to it.
Yeah, that's basically what happens when the publisher, who thinks only about money, gets allowed to meddle with the creative process. And that's basically what happens. You get money-making machines and not games. You get one-armed bandits and not games.
Absolutely. You get EA and not CD Projekt Red. Rumors.
Oh, yes. Well, not actually a rumor. Because CD Projekt Red is known for sneaking in some clues as to what they're trying to do, what they will attempt to do very soon. And this time on the
No.
Game Developers Conference.
Here's where I have to stop you, Jahith. I
Okay.
think that making an ARG out of your press releases is a shitty idea.
Well, but it's fun. This is how they introduced.
No one knows we exist. It's so great.
Well, it's not like they are so overtly secretive that you need to go frame by frame in order to discover 3 E's and which should let you to
You say
E3.
that, but there's a Danish person currently looking for a geocache as we speak, looking for the full press release from CD Projekt Red.
But yeah, apparently we should expect something to happen on E3, and that actually is in line with the beep that happened a month ago, and another piece of information that happened a couple of months ago when when Marcin Kaczynski, he said that once we start our campaign, it's going to take about 6 months before we release the game. So I'm counting on the fact that they started their campaign at the beep and not at the E3 conference. So we can expect Cyberpunk 2077, at least according to me, around August this year.
That is quite the claim.
Yeah. Well, I'm just putting the information together. 6 months, that would put it around August.
August, time of pumpkins. Clearly, it was the Riddler.
Yep. I seriously cannot wait for the game, but I'm worried that the game will not be able to live up to the hype. I will still buy it because, I'm Polish and I have to, because I have to support them. But we'll see if it will be any good.
We will see. Just reflavor it, a term I'm growing to hate, by Nyauki00 is our answer that nobody wanted. Because about a month ago, I posed the question of why so many people insist that a warlock is married to the whole patron dynamic when it's just flavor that doesn't do anything. It's just like your power set, man. I was pretty happy with the response that got because people agreed with me. And since that topic,
I need to be patted on the back.
This topic was born out of a discussion I had with my gaming group. My curiosity has led me to another discussion and sad realization. The topic began when one player expressed a distinct interest in trying to be a classical mythical ninja and suggested making a whole new monk and rogue type class to portray it. The DM turned me down and said, "The game doesn't need anything new. Reflavor the rogue as a ninja and just roleplay it." The player in question just played a rogue and expressed discontent with having the multi-class to play the character they envision. This sparked a slowly growing argument on how valid that statement was, regardless of whether he is within his right as a DM or not to allow me to just make shit up. And then it's just like then it's just a giant like paragraph of him like talking about the mechanics of the game, and he's claiming there's no difference between warlocks and wizards and toolkits and bloop de blue, herder Germanicus. Like, I have very little interest in this guy's argument because something that he doesn't seem to realize is he is playing a role-playing game.
So, the way I understand this is the guy can't really abstract from the tools that the game already gives him.
So I'm going to give you an example of an argument that I've had with someone very similar to this guy's. So this guy's bringing up like, hey, I want to play a skirmisher. And I tell him, well, with the class of rogue, you're able to pretty much be a skirmisher because what you're describing is someone that does hit and run tactics using stealth. And he says, but no, I want my class to be called a skirmisher, and I want these abilities. Well, but you'd have to balance this with the game, and I feel that it would be much easier if you just played a rogue. He goes, but no, I want to be called a skirmisher because that's what I am. I'm not a rogue. I'm going, oh God. Because that's not really an argument.
Yeah. The game, I think we mentioned that before. The game is balanced. The game has tested mechanics. Use them.
Because what you're basically doing at that point, absolutely, what you're basically doing at that point is you're running into a game and you're going, all these classes suck, here's my super special class that works the way I want it to. And I'm going, learn how to play the game before you start making up new classes. Because unfortunately, that's the sad truth of many of these people that make this argument. They don't actually know the game inside and out like the DM does. They just feel like they've played a campaign for a year. They must clearly know the game inside and out.
Well, the problem is that one, the game is balanced the way it is. So yes. That's one thing. Second thing, you can make anything you want in this in D&D 3.5. You can.
Well,
but
we're talking 5 here.
Yeah, 5 too. Any version of the D&D, really, because you can do whatever you want, but you have to put an effort into it. Without an effort from your part, without leveling up, without choosing your classes, without spending your skill points the way you want it to work,
so
it's not going to work.
Have I told you the tale of Warbach Ruinheart?
No, please enlighten me.
He is a guild artisan bard. He is a master chef I've spent almost the entire campaign just cooking food and buying ingredients and like doing basic chef stuff. Without like any homebrewing, my class isn't battle chef. Cook's utensils are in the game already. Like, I'm just really role-playing that my character is a chef. So, I'm using that within using the tools that the game has provided me. I don't need the word chef to literally appear in my class.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't have to. A lot of the personal job titles that people ascribe to a class are just versions of something that already exists. For instance, the player's handbook has a samurai on the page where the soldier is described. The soldier background.
Yeah, it makes complete sense because samurais were soldiers.
Exactly.
From different period, from different place, but that's what they did.
So so the game has been the entire time trying to tell you that the classes and the titles that the classes have are just guidelines. They're very meta. They don't have to be what you're called. For instance, you don't necessarily have to walk around town going, I am Gurgon, gnomish barbarian. You don't have to do that.
Though I would like to see a gnomish barbarian. That would be nice.
The group I'm DMing right now has a halfling barbarian, and he's a little fucking nutball. It's Eric's character. The guy who plays Haddock.
Yeah, I know.
I never know if you know that I know if you know.
Well, good, because if you did, I would be very surprised and very worried that you might be actually reading my mind, and I don't like that. Yes.
But that's our answer that nobody wanted. Is you should just reflavor it and roleplay it. That's the answer that well, you don't want, unfortunately.
Yeah, because what you want is to basically make a Mary Sue. That's what you want.
Cause people like you were a problem in 3.5. I ran into a lot of folks like you. I ran into one guy who insisted not only did he have to play an anthro in every game he was in, but he had a special race that he built that was like immune to like 3 kinds of damage, and it could cast spells, and I'm like, oh god. That's not fun. We play Dungeons and Dragons so that everyone at the table is able to have a good time.
Yep.
This isn't here. We're not here for your solo power fantasy.
The D&D is a game that you play with friends, with a group of friends, and no one likes a guy who says, "I hit, I win. I hit, I win," and basically hogs all the glory for himself. The game is about everybody who's there. The GM has to have fun, and the players have to have fun. Not just you.
Indeed, and on that note, we are ending our episode. Have a good day, ladies, gentlemen, and Alex Jones.
Alex Jones is a new gender.
He is. I have come to this realization that the 3 genders in the world are male, female, and Alex Jones.
Okay.
And no, that's not an alternate name for LGBT. There's just one in existence. That is Alex Jones, who is also of the gender Alex Jones.
Does he like reproduce by spawning?
I think he does, because that would explain why he was so pissed off about the chemicals in the water turning the frogs gay. Because the chemicals would affect him.
Wait, does that mean he is Alex Jones sexual now?
That depends. Are amoebas amoeba sexual if they self-replicate?
I don't know.
Because no, I think they just have the one term that reflects that they solo reproduce. I don't think they're necessarily. I don't think that's an orientation.
Yeah, they are asexual and they reproduce through, I believe, cell division.
Right. All right. Now we're actually ending the episode.
Yeah.